Hello people of the Pizza Pipes, I'm Mr. Spork, and these are Mr. Spork's hands. I got a little bit busy last week, but I wanted to put something out in front of you so that you know I'm still out here cooking away. And a few folks a couple weeks ago were commenting about my $2 frozen pizza replacement. They weren't entirely believing the fact that you can make a great pizza indoor in the home oven. The other one I did, you can check out that video down in my page. I was doing outside on the high heat kamado oven. And while that is my preferred method of cooking pizza, I want to show that you can absolutely do it indoors on a pan. This is kind of a grandma style pizza, as they call it down in New York. Basically, I took my good trusty old sheet pan, put a little bit of oil on there. It's the exact same dough recipe. I set it on there from the fridge so it was cold, spread it out as far as it would go, but then I had to let it warm up to room temperature, or I don't know, maybe 10-15 minutes, and then that lets me push it all the way out to the edges. The oil underneath the dough is going to kind of fry it from below, which is what gives you the great flavor. Today I'm doing a sausage, onion, and mozzarella pizza. I am a cheese first kind of guy. It helps keep the pizza from getting soggy underneath, so I've cut myself some mozzarella slices. This is just grocery store brick mozzarella. You don't have to always use high-end gourmet buffalo mozzarella, which is delicious, but hey, I get it. Sometimes this is all you got, and so that's what I'm using. Yes, it's slices of pizza and slices of cheese, I should say, and cheese first. It's kind of a leftover from Chicago pizza making days where they almost always put the cheese on the bottom. Some of these slices are a little thick, so I'm kind of adjusting as I go to get good coverage, and this one's really thick, so I'm going to take a taste and get some over here. The beauty of pizza is that it does not care. Now I'm going to go with my sauce. This is my homemade sauce. Again, in the other video, it's the exact same stuff. I just blended it a couple days ago and let it sit in the fridge with oregano and garlic. As much or as little as you want, but on my grandma pizzas, my pan pizzas, I usually put a little bit more sauce, not for any culinary reason, just because I like it that way. I have got the oven in the background heating up as high as it will go, 500 degrees on my stove. You do want it really hot, but curiously you'll notice that the pan is cold. So don't worry about that. That's kind of normal. I have an oven stone in my oven at all times, and it's also heating up. It's going to hit the bottom of that pan with a lot of heat really quick. So you're going to get plenty on the bottom to form that crust. This is actually some homemade sausage that I make. We've got a great local farmer who does a very good job of getting me the right cuts of pork, and I grind it up in my monster grinder and go through the trouble of making a batch every so often, and then for what little meat I eat, I can use them fresh for a week or two, and then I can freeze the rest, and I've got sausages. It doesn't take much. That's only one sausage. You see the cover of this whole big, huge 9 by whatever size pizza. Like all my pizza making, I try to emphasize that less is more. If I can get these onions spread out. All right, that is a pizza. I'm going to go into the oven. It's going to be about 20 to 25 minutes. I'm going to spin it halfway through at about the 10-minute mark. I'll show you what it looks like in just a second. And here we are. This is about 21 minutes later out of my oven, but it's going to, again, vary anywhere from 19 to 26 minutes on yours. While the pizza's still hot, I cannot have pizza without a good dose of red chili flakes. You'll notice that it's still steaming hot. I do like my crust a little bit darker when I do pan pizzas, so if you don't like it that dark, back off a minute or two. I'm going to let it cool before I cut it, of course, because with that cheese underneath, it'll run everywhere if I don't give it a few minutes to set. But get it out onto a cooling rack. Let it cool. I'll cut a piece and show you what the bottom looks like. So after about 5-10 minutes of rest to cool down just a bit, kind of the equivalent at home of waiting for the delivery guy to get there in the cardboard box. I'm going to go ahead and cut this. I cut squares. Again, all of these little pizza details are personal preference. Cheese on top, cheese on bottom, how dark you like the crust. It's really down to you because, you know, it's really hard to make a bad pizza. There's that crust on the bottom. You see it gets a nice development and got that cheese layer in there. This is absolutely brilliant. I do appreciate you liking and thumbs upping and tweety insta spacing and all the other crazy stuff. If you want this recipe, it is up on my blog. Just go up there and check that link in the corner. And as always, if you haven't, please do subscribe to the channel because that's what lets me keep doing this for you, as well as watching the ad that runs after this. Whoever they are, they're good people because they throw me a few pennies every time you guys watch. I do appreciate it. Now for me, it's time for pizza. Cheers.